everyone. Welcome back to Ghosting with Anya. I'm your host, Anya Smith, also the author of Anya's Ghost Stories Volume 1 and Volume 2, The Return of the Dead. So, I finally finished my blanket, the gigantic one that is always laying on my bed. So, yeah, I am working on another blanket the same way I did my other one months ago. So, today's story will be doing the portrait in the upstairs hall. This is a new story, a ghost story that has a portrait on the upstairs, which is like a portrait of the family somehow, maybe haunting the place, perhaps. And this portrait probably has a story to tell, perhaps a lot of creepy stories that have a lot of weird shit going on. So, yesterday I got a call. Well, last night I got a call from a friend, or this morning. He told me that he was in an accident, like of a motorcycle accident, but he lost control and his motorcycle kind of went crazy on him. So now he's in a lot of pain, and Chris and I got him some painkillers, and hopefully he's okay. My friend is the one who got me into this podcast in the first place. His name is Fearless Cummings. Hello, Fearless Cummings. I hope you are watching this video. And yes, I am talking about from yesterday. So I hope you are doing okay tonight. Don't take too many of the ibuprofen because it could really mess you up anytime. So just take 3 tablets and with water, and you're gonna be okay. And take it easy, especially on the motorcycle. So anyway, I was with Fearless Cummings for like an hour because he had a lot of stuff going on, like homework, taking care of the house, his client, including his son, and doing a lot of shit, like cooking meals, cleaning up the place, making sure his son, was, safe. So anyway, today we pretty much just ran some errands. So around 4:30 p.m. we went back to Fearless's house, and I took the rent check for the bookstore that I worked at right across the street from our former home. We lived at the Oak Creek apartment for like a couple of years, and I worked right across the street since I think it was like a couple of years as well. But then I walked away because it literally could not make enough money. So that's why the bookstore has been shut down forever. So the power went out, the internet was cut off, including the electricity, all the water. So, but that is the reason why. So I decided to go with the podcast, and I hope you guys are ready for the new story, because I'm ready. So I took a picture of my finished blanket. It is on my public community as well, right here on YouTube. You can check it out if you wish. So it's really adorable. I love it. I've been making blankets like that for a couple of years. I learned how to do corners by watching a lot of videos, and so now I'm watching videos about making slippers, socks, or whatever, shoes. Depends. But, it depends on what I want to learn more, like make something new. So I'm making another blanket. So started with the foundation, with the chains, like how many chains I want to do, and go back and forth until you turn into a square. And then you chain one, go to the same stitch, and then you single crochet until you get to another end, chain one, same stitch, continue crocheting all single crochets. That becomes 4 corners, and you just continue on until the desire you want to make this blanket. You can use different colors, or you can use a solid colors. So, but yeah, anyway, let's get started on the story. I just want to say thank you guys for subscribing to my channel and sharing my channel with everyone and clicking like. So please continue doing that. And also, Chris and I are going to Columbus, Nebraska sometime either in July or August to see my husband's friend and his husband or whatever. So just for a couple of days, and then we'll be back, and I'll be continue working on the story, like on this podcast. Anyway, so let's get started on the story. Just sit back and relax. Please click like, share, and subscribe, and let's get started on the story. Episode 165, The Portrait in the Upstairs Hall. Clara only visited the Bellamy estate because her aunt, who handled regional appraisals, whatever. Sometimes I can't say that. Can't even pronounce it very well. Appraisals, I think, needed a second pair of eyes for inventory, and knew Clara had a historian's patience for old objects. The house had belonged to a minor local family whose descendants were finally auctioning furnishings after decades of partial upkeep and private decline. It was not a mansion exactly, but large enough to feel imposing, with a broad central staircase, locked cabinets, and portraits living the upstairs hall, like relatives unwilling to admit visitors. Clara liked old houses in theory and disliked them in practice. They were too full of arranged memory, too eager to insist the past had better posture than the present. Still, the assignment was simple: catalog paintings, note condition, and help identify provenance. By late afternoon, she and her aunt had already tagged The silver logged the library and covered the mirrors in the east parlor to protect them during moving. The trouble began with the portrait of the woman in blue at the end of the upstairs corridor. Something tells me that this is the portrait of a woman who once owned that mansion, and the portrait of whatever she owned. She was the owner, I guess. She is the spirit that haunts the place, the mansion. We don't know the name of it yet, but apparently she was the owner of the portrait that someone painted many centuries ago or whenever. So it must have been late 1800s, like 19th century. Anyway, if this makes any sense to you all, just let me know in the comments down below, and let's continue on the story. Sorry about that, guys. My voice can be very scratchy when I talk too much. So, let me know what you guys think of the story. It can be very scary and exciting sometimes. So let's continue on the story. At first, the painting was unremarkable in the way family portraits often are. Formal pose, one hand resting on a chair, dark hair pinned high, expression disciplined into gentility. The brass plaque beneath identified her only as Eleanor Bellamy, 1891. Clara photographed the frame, measured the canvas, and moved on. Half an hour later, while checking a smaller landscape near the linen closet, she glanced back and saw that Eleanor's portrait had changed. The woman's head was no longer angled slightly left toward the stairwell. It was turned forward, facing the center of the hall. Clara walked closer, annoyed with herself for the spike of fear. Portraits do not change. Perspective changes, memory of angels changes, angles changes. Yet when her aunt came upstairs and Clara pointed it out, the older woman frowned and admitted she too thought the figure had originally been looking elsewhere. Something tells me that the spirit of a woman named Eleanor Bellamy likes to keep an eye on the hall or something, like the hallway of the mansion. Perhaps she died of something back in 1800s or 1900s, but we don't really know. But we do know that her name was Eleanor Bellamy back in 1800s, like late 1890s. Actually, no, early 1890s to whatever, but I think it was like 1891. So if you guys think this portrait can be very scary, if you see any spirits in that portrait, would you investigate it? Let me know if it's scary to you guys. If you want to investigate it, you got to be brave enough. I probably would too. I would put my big girl brave pants, and I would definitely ask the right questions and get some answers for it. I would try my best. So, anyway, let me know if this makes any sense to you. They laughed it off badly and kept working, but the painting's alterations continued in subtitle. Under undeniable ways, by evening, Eleanor's hand no longer rested on the chair back. It rested on the edge of the frame itself, as though gripping it from inside. The blue of her dress appeared deeper, less faded than in Clara's earlier photographs. Most disturbing of all, the portrait's eyes seemed focused not on the hall generally, but on whichever of them stood nearest the small locked door. At the far end, a servant stair entrance. No one had yet opened because the key was missing. Clara's aunt, who had spent years in old houses and preferred practical discomfort to superstition, finally told Clara to stop looking at the thing and finish the paperwork downstairs. Clara obeyed, but not before noticing fresh scratches on the inside of the locked door's brass plate, as if someone with rings had tried to wrench it open repeatedly from within. Yeah, this is something very creepy at any moment. I feel like Eleanor's ghost is trying to escape from the portrait. She literally haunts the place where she died. We don't know what she died of, but we'll have to find out more as we are reading the story. I'm guessing the caretaker might know what's going on. Apparently, she's afraid what could happen when she talks about Eleanor Bellamy's history or whatever. The history of the house and the portrait, of course. Anyway, let's continue on the story.
Yep.
The caretaker, Mr. Fisk, offered explanation over coffee in the back kitchen. Eleanor Bellamy, he said, had married into the family young and unhappily accounts differed on details because the Bellamy's preferred scandal to be archived under wallpaper rather than public record. But local stories insisted Eleanor spent much of her life moving between the upstairs hall and the service stair door, waiting for messages, meetings, or one particular departure. No one named clearly. Some said she planned to leave with someone beneath her station. Others claimed she had hidden money or letters in their stairwell and was prevented from retrieving them after her death. Several generations of Bellamy's kept the portrait hanging directly opposite that door, though no one could say why. She likes to know who goes near it, Fisk said, with a dryness that failed to make the sentence normal. That night, a storm trapped Clara and her aunt at the house. because tree limbs came down across the lane. Fisk stayed in the caretaker cottage, promising to return at first light with chains and help. Clara and her aunt settled into two downstairs guest rooms and tried not to talk about Eleanor. At 1:17 a.m., Clara woke to footsteps overhead, not ordinary settling sounds, but measured pacing crossing the upstairs hall and stopping above her room. Then came a single sharp knock from the small stair door, followed by another and another, each one with the impatience of a person accustomed to not being answered quickly. Clara, to her own irritation, went upstairs with a lamp. The hall was empty except for the portrait, which now showed Eleanor standing closer in the frame, the chair gone entirely, her face sharper with urgency than portraiture usually allows, one painted hand pressed flat against the inner edge of the canvas, as if against glass. I'm guessing that Eleanor was trying to escape, maybe retrieve something, or meet someone, because she was planning on running away from someone else, like from something or whatever. I think she wanted to leave her husband or something because she wasn't happy. So, do you guys think that Eleanor was unhappy living with her husband? Maybe she was afraid of something. Do you guys think that is why Eleanor decided to find a way to leave the house with someone?
Yes.
That is so true, actually. It could have been. Who tried to call you?
I don't know.
If someone's calling you. Is it a telemarketer, maybe?
Probably.
Don't answer it then.
I won't.
What is that?
Oh, don't worry about it. I'm doing something here.
Okay, cool. Anyway, I hope you guys get this story sensed up for you. I mean, I hope that this is a lot scarier. I mean, if you guys think it's scarier, I hope you are brave enough to get all the details and a lot of blood boiling just to get all the excitement, all the stories and shit. Anyway, I hope you guys are brave enough to listen to the whole story. Do you guys think that it is scary enough for you? I mean, do you guys even know the story about Eleanor Bellamy haunting the house? Maybe she's haunting it because she wants someone to notice, or like trying to figure out a way to escape the place. So, Clara should have gone back down. Instead, she brought the lamp near the locked stair door and noticed the faint outline of something tucked under the threshold on the inside. A curled paper edge visible only because the storm damp had warped the floorboards. She fetched a letter opener from the writing desk, worked it carefully beneath the gap, and pulled free a packet of folded pages tied in blue ribbon. The portrait behind her gave a soft, unmistakable thud, as though someone inside it had exhaled against the frame. The letters were Eleanor's. Even by lamplight, Clara could see the desperation in the pen strokes. They described money hidden for escape, a lover or ally waiting by the servant stair, and finally, one furious final note accusing the family of stealing the stair access before she could leave, and then hanging her portrait opposite the door to watch what they stole from me. Clara's aunt found her there moments later with the letters in her hand and the portrait now returned to its original pose. By morning, the storm had passed enough for Fisk to reach the house, and Clara's aunt, no longer interested in polite discretion, insisted the letters belonged with the rest of the estate, rather than quietly buried in family papers. The descendants object it, of course, but provenance one where conscience had failed. The small stair door was opened at last. Behind it lay a narrow dust-filled passage, and in a wall cavity just inside a pouch of coins and a tarnished brooch wrapped in blue silk. Eleanor had told the truth. The portrait was moved before the auction and sent for conversation. Clara later heard that one rehung in a public history exhibit away from the stair door. The painting never changed again. She found that fitting a portrait, after all, is another form of witness. Eleanor had not wanted to haunt the hall forever. She had wanted the record corrected where others could no longer keep walking past it. Apparently, the Eleanor wanted Clara and her aunt to acknowledge the stuff. So maybe she wanted to be public or whatever that Eleanor wanted. So apparently they finally did what they wanted, what Eleanor wanted. So they made a promise to Eleanor they would put her portrait and a piece of papers on the public exhibit. So they finally got what she wanted, and now she's not haunting her own mansion ever again. So do you guys think that Eleanor was waiting for someone to help her out? Let me know in the comments if you think she did. So, now that the story is finally done, we are going to the questions. We only have 10 questions and 10 answers. If you have any questions about it, just let me know and we'll figure something else as well. All right. Let's go with questions right now. So let's get started. If you have any opinions about it, just let me know. what you guys think. And I would love to hear your stories. And if you gone to a museum and you've seen those real life haunted portraits, and let me know if you had any experience with it. I would love to read your comments about it, and let me know if you had anything related to. So let's get started. Would you have kept looking at the portrait after it first changed? I think so, yes. I would have done the same thing. So I hope you guys are brave enough to listen to all these stories. Would you ever wanted to look at the portrait after it started like changing positions or coming out of the frame? Let me know in the comments if you ever have done that when you first went to the haunted museum. Let's go to number 2. What unsettled you most? The shifting gaze, the hand on the frame, or the letters? Well, that's a good question, you guys. I think it was the shifting gaze and the hand on the frame, not just the letters. I think it's all the above. And if I saw this spirit come out of the portrait right in front of me, I would literally not be afraid to investigate it. I would try and communicate with this ghost of Eleanor Bellamy. So, for me, it was probably the shifting gaze. Chris, what do you think? Do you think what unsettles you actually most? The shifting gaze, the hand on the frame, or the letters? The letters creep you out?
Yes.
Okay then. Well, my husband says it's the letters, but for me, I think it's the shifting gaze and the hand on the frame. So, whoever's watching this show, same question. What unsettled you the most? The shifting gaze, the hand on the frame, or the letters? Let me know in the comments down below what really settles you the most. Like any paranormal activity of any place that you visited, like other haunted places. Let me know in the comments if this story can really freak you out. Let's go to number 3. Do you think Eleanor wanted escape, justice, or simple recognition of the truth? I think that I think she wanted all the above. I know she wanted to escape because she was not happy when she was alive, because she wanted to run away with her lover, especially with the money. Maybe she was afraid of her husband for what he was going to do to her. No wonder why she tried to escape. So perhaps she passed away by the hand of her abuser. I don't know. Do you think Eleanor was murdered by her own abuser, like her husband or something? And maybe she knew the truth, and this is probably why. Or because maybe they stole her stuff and left her for dead. Perhaps. Well, I think she wanted justice and escape. She wanted all the above, apparently. Let's go to number 4. Why are portraits such effective objects in ghost stories? Well, I think that they are attached to the place where this woman died. When a person gets her portrait painted, which means their spirit becomes like stuck in there. And when this woman has passed on, like into the spirit world, identical to our living world, she becomes trapped and watches the world move on while she is stuck like this for all eternity. Not aging, but reliving her final moments, apparently, when she was dying. I don't know what killed her. I don't know who did it. Perhaps thieves maybe did it. So, the objects are perhaps attached to the place, to the house, and it's attached to the actual spirits. Spirits are clearly cannot be removed. Well, objects can't be removed from the house because they're trapped there. In the spirit world, they try to clearly escape, but nothing's working. So I think she wanted recognition as well. So I think Clara and her aunt did the exact same thing. Help them escape by taking the portrait to public exhibit, like a museum or something, and put it in right in front of the people, say, so they can take a look and read the article and see what really happened to Eleanor Bellamy. These objects actually can be attached to the ghosts. It's part of the memory, it's part of the history, and this is what they do. They cannot escape it. They're clearly attached to it. So, this is why. Okay, we got 5 questions before I sign off. This video is probably a bit short. So, anyway, what Clara right to open? Was Clara right to open the stair door secret despite the risk? Yes. I think she helped Eleanor Bellamy to escape. So she found letters, she found everything, perhaps was hidden, and she had the right to help the spirits move on into the afterlife. I think Eleanor wanted to escape and move on, find peace. She couldn't do that because she couldn't remember what happened to her. Maybe she was robbed and then left for dead. This is why she could not move on, because she couldn't get justice and could not escape her torment, I guess. This is why she was like reliving her final moments when she was dying, I guess, and being trapped in the spirit world inside of a portrait. Somehow, this is probably why Clara finally helped Eleanor. So Eleanor was happy that Clara did something right. And now Eleanor can move on. All right, let's go to number 6. Do you think that the family not knowingly trapped Eleanor's memory in that hallway? Yes. I think so, yes. I think the family knowing trapped Eleanor's memories inside the hallway. Do you guys think it is? Let me know. I think Eleanor got trapped because she was, I don't know, unfaithful or something like that. I don't know. She was robbed somehow, and her memories went blurry or whatever. This is why she can remember, and she thought someone was like blaming her for what she was gonna do. That's why they killed her and trapped her. Perhaps they did the wrong thing. They blamed her for what she did. So she was innocent, and they killed her for it, probably. The family pretty much were jealous of Eleanor, I guess, and that's why they killed her and trapped her inside the hallway in a portrait. So Eleanor was pissed off, mad, extremely mad. So that's why she ended up haunting the place where she died. So they should have been arrested for what they did to her. Eleanor would have gotten justice for it. And now she finally did, and she can finally escape and move on. Let's go to number 7. How is this haunting different from one based only on grief? Well, any haunting can be different from anything. Like a family that was haunting the place where they died when they lost something or someone. It can be based on real life events, like the Titanic or like the Sally house when they lost a 5-year-old girl named Sally. And a lot of people lose a lot of things, and they go into grief, they go depressed, and then they go crazy. They try to kill themselves, and then when they were found somehow, they literally end up in a psychiatric hospital. So anyway, these hauntings can be very bad memories, and it's a trauma that clearly clouds their memories and their heads and everything, their grief. They just go ballistic for no damn reason. Any hauntings can do that to you, like a memory that they try to block off, and then they don't remember anything when they block out. They block their real memories, and fake memories come in, and they just don't make any sense at all. So grief can be suppressed anything, like in so many different ways, like literally. Okay, so let's go to number 8. Would you have turned the letters over to the estate or hidden them? Well, if I were Clara, I would have kept the letters hidden. I mean, if I wanted to keep the secret, but I probably would have turned them over to estate so they can actually put it in the public exhibit. So I think I would have turned them over and trying to release the spirit of Eleanor from being trapped constantly, like reliving her final moments. The day she died and what happened to her, the day she got robbed or killed or whatever happened to her. She wanted to escape, so Clara did that. And I'm happy that Eleanor found peace. Let's go to number 9. Can public truth release something private that was held too long? Yes, it can. People wanted to know the truth when they saw the portrait and the letters of Eleanor Bellamy. I probably would have done the same thing. So, do you think this would have helped Eleanor release the truth?
Yes.
People would have wanted to know what really happened to Eleanor back in 1891. Apparently, Eleanor wanted the truth, so she wanted people to know what really happened, and they finally noticed as a century and a half later. So, apparently it worked. Okay, we have one last question left before I sign off. It is 12 minutes after 9, which has been like almost an hour, but it's quite all right. If a painting began changing to guide you, would you follow it? Yes, of course I would. If I noticed this woman named Eleanor Bellamy, she would try to tell me something, and she would want us to know where she had hidden the letters, the truth, and whoever did something to her, she would clearly wanted people to get the truth. She knows that she was somehow dying. She was killed. She got trapped in the portrait. Her spirit literally got trapped because of that evil family, I guess. Maybe it's her husband that did it. So she was never happy. That's why she wanted to leave, but she got caught and she was killed for it. So she was blamed. That's why she died. But she knows the truth, and she tried to confront it, and she was killed for it. So, but I would definitely follow Eleanor's spirit and to guide. I mean, I would literally follow her, and she'll probably show me what really happened. She'll like tell me the whole thing. All right, guys, we are out of time, so thank you guys for listening the story, and I hope this made any sense to you. Tomorrow we'll be doing the new story called The Mailbox at the End of Hollow Lane. This is a new story, and I hope that you guys enjoyed this story. I hope it's not too scary for you all. And I had the great time with you guys. Anyway, it is after 9 p.m. So thank you guys. Have a great night. Thanks for watching. Please click like, share, and subscribe to Ghosting with Anya. And tomorrow we'll be doing episode 166. So it is called The Mailbox at the End of Hollow Lane. Thank you, and enjoy the rest of your night. Stay safe, and happy Father's Day to you all. And stay spooky, you guys, and just have fun. And may God bless you and protect you at all times. And don't do anything rational with all the spirits. Just be very careful, and we'll see you guys tomorrow night on live stream. So please click like, share, and subscribe. Good night, everyone. Bye.